What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Beyond the Sign, a real estate podcast. I'm your host, Frank the Bank Grotman. With me, as always, is Christine the Legend LaCava. How you doing, Christine?
I'm doing well, Frank. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, really good. How's business for you?
Busy, it's a busy time of year in real estate.
It really is. I'm actually pretty busy too. We're about to wind down for the holiday season, like we talked about a little bit before. But, we had our first episode a couple weeks ago. What'd you think about that? Did you like it? I know you're a little nervous.
I was a little nervous. I thought it came out pretty good.
Yep.
And, it's just a matter of getting used to talking to the camera.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it came out really good. And, again, thank you, Tanya, for doing the first 7 or 8 episodes. And Christine's going to be moving forward with us here now, so that's great. Why don't we jump into our first segment, and that's always the Property Pulse. Christine, we're going to be talking about the town of Bourne today. What do you have for me this week?
Yeah, so Frank, in the town of Bourne right now, there's currently 43 active listings. And then last year, there was about 157 residential sales. This year, year to date, there's about 139.
Okay.
The average sale price is down. In 2024, the average sale price was $861,000. This year, the average sale price is $738,000.
Wow.
And the days on market in 2024 were 41 days. This year, they're about 57 days on market. So, the days on market are a bit longer. The average sale price is down a little bit.
Yep.
And right now, there's about a 3-month supply in the town of Bourne.
Wow. So, we're seeing things staying on the market longer. Prices are lower and the inventory is up. So, it is seeming like kind of what we've been talking about. It's actually like more of a balanced market right now.
Yeah, I feel it is. Be interesting to see how the year ends for the town of Bourne.
Yeah, obviously there's quite a big discrepancy. I would say almost $130,000 difference in price point from the same time last year to the same time this year. Sometimes that's because of one big sale. It can definitely skew the numbers a little bit. But yeah, to see there's 43 active listings right now, which is definitely up to in 57 days on market. That's almost 2 months on market. We're definitely seeing that longer days on market, people having a price drop a little bit to get things sold. So yeah, absolutely what I'm seeing too. Another great Property Pulse. Thanks again, Christine, for that Town of Bourne information. Why don't we jump into our next segment, the Mortgage Minute. What are rates looking like on average right now?
Yeah, so right now, Frank, the average 30-year fix is between 6.2, 15 years running about 5.19 to 5.3.
Nice.
The FHA 30-year is running about 6.375, and a 15 year is about 5.56.
Okay.
VA loans for 30 years about 6.43, and the 15 year is about 5.55.
That's great. So, we're kind of seeing what we talked about before, just the rates are been better than they were last year. We hit 7, and historically, I think you talked about a little bit on our first episode that what you bought your house for was the same kind of rate it was back in the 90s. So it's kind of cool to see that. I think that the rates will hopefully come down a little bit more this year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that soon. But yeah, is that what you're kind of seeing too? Status quo?
Yeah, the rates, I don't think they're bad. I think, if you're prepared to buy, you're ready to buy, these are great rates to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
So Frank, anything happen nationally with national news?
There's always national news, as you see, but the biggest thing right now is the government shutdown. So, how does that affect different industries? Obviously, in our industry, being the real estate industry, how does that affect us? So there's a lot of different things that happen. Some of the things to really know or pay attention to it. One, if you're listing your house and you're going to accept an offer that has a government-backed loan, those are either taking longer or paused completely. So FHA and VA loans are still working with a skeleton crew, if you will, but taking more time. So red tape, slower processing, so you can expect a slower closing typically. So if you're looking to move fast on your sale, that might not be a loan you want to deal with. USDA completely right now, I'm told, is paused completely. So USDA loans are being very slow processed to not being processed at all. So that's something else to take into account. Again, if you're a buyer looking to move fast or a seller, these are the things you kind of need to know. Lastly, one of the things that, especially talking about Bourne and Wareham, there's a ton of flood zones, right? So flood zones are a big deal. If you're in a flood zone, buying a house, selling a house, what you need to know during a shutdown, is that the National Flood Insurance Program is not currently accepting any new insurance policies. So if you're in a flood zone and you are getting a mortgage, you're going to need flood insurance to buy that house. So if you're not going to get it from the National Flood Insurance Program, where are you going to get it from? So that's when you actually have to reach out and shop around and see what companies are actually carrying flood insurance privately in Massachusetts, and that it also has to be okay. That company has to give a binder for your mortgage company. So these are things that you definitely need to know about during a shutdown. Hopefully the shutdown doesn't last too much longer, but who knows at this point, right? I don't have a crystal ball, and I know you don't either.
No, we just don't know. And, like you said, I think if people are prepared, it's going to go a long way for them as well. Just got to be patient. I mean, there's nothing that we can do about it, and we just got to, stay calm and
exactly. And that's what we're here for, to obviously, try to tell people about these things so they're aware of it. So it's like, it is a big deal. So that's really the biggest thing. I think there was a little bit of news that you wanted to talk about too. And
yeah, I think the Feds are meeting this week.
Yep.
So we'll be interested to see if they, drop the rate a little bit again. There's talk that they are going to, but we'll have to wait and see. And we'll talk about that, next time we meet and see what happened from the results of that rate drop.
Yeah, I think that they will drop rates. I think that's something that, especially in a shutdown period, I think that'll help boost the economy as well, because we are seeing a little bit of a lull and some stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that'll help with there. And overall, just shutdowns in general, not going to crash the market, but it will slow things down, like we talked about. Transactions in particular, like we said. But as soon as the shutdown's over, historically, we've seen that the market responds and rebounds very quickly, stronger than even sometimes than before the shutdown. So good stuff there. Another great mortgage minute. Thank you, Christine. That was awesome. We have the best part of the show, the closing confessions, the good, the bad, the ugly. We've talked some cool stories, some cool experiences. This week, we briefly touched upon this last time. There is a new law that just went into effect, and this is specifically for Massachusetts. So it is at the state level, not national. So something very important for people to know about. Christine, this has to do with home inspections. So why don't you tell the viewers out there a little bit more about this new law that just went into effect?
Yeah, so it's the Massachusetts Home Inspection Law. It was enacted under the Affordable Cares Act of 2024 to protect home buyers from being pressured into waiving home inspections.
Okay, makes sense.
It ensures that buyers can make informal decisions about, one of the most important investments of their lives.
Absolutely.
So here's the new form that we're required to present to a seller.
Yep.
When listing a property, and then when a buyer comes in with an offer, this has to then be presented to the buyer before an offer is even presented to the seller.
Makes sense.
Yep. So, the buyer's rights, they're still able to choose the inspector.
Okay.
Within a reasonable amount of time, they can have their home inspection.
Yeah, we typically see 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, and then they do still have the right to withdraw from that offer if something comes up in the home inspection that, makes them not want to move forward with the sale.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we talked a lot about this upcoming, because this was something that we knew about that was coming for a while, and it is something that, it's not going to change too much of what we've seen out there. We typically see a lot of offers have home inspection contingencies, correct? So it is one of those situations where it's like, if I was the greatest contractor in the world and I was like, I don't want to have a home inspection, I can't no longer do that. I have to say I'm having a home inspection with the offer.
Yes,
so
you can't put it in writing or verbally. You cannot make, say to the seller, wink, wink, I'm not doing a home inspection.
Right, so it
has to be in
verbal.
the offer that you are going to do one. But when it comes time to sign the purchase and sale, you then can say, listen, I'm going to waive that home inspection.
You have the right to waive it after the fact.
It's only after the offer is accepted that you're able to do that.
Are there any exceptions to this when making an offer? Is there an exception to this law?
There are. So there's a few exceptions. One is an auction sale at an auctioneer, under an auctioneer in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Any family transaction. So if, you're selling to a family member, or there's a divorce and somebody's buying somebody else out.
Okay.
There's also, with foreclosures, estate planning transfers, like if someone leaves you a home, you know, like your parent passes away or something like that.
Yeah.
In new construction, with provided that the seller is offering a 1-year builder warranty covering all key structural and system components of that warranty.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the new construction last time on our last episode, and yeah, I mean, we still recommend people get it, but I mean, I can understand if, again, the build is reputable and it's the perfect situation where you don't want one, then that's good that that's in there too. So I know we're talking a lot about this from like the buyer side, and it's one of those things, again, it's like you don't want to be forced into certain things, but it is to protect the buyer that may have otherwise waived their inspection, you know, to try to get their offer to look more attractable to a seller. But obviously there's some stuff sellers need to know as well here. So like, what can we say to sellers?
Yep, so sellers are not required to make any improvements based on the home inspection.
Right.
They're not required to take a price reduction because of that home inspection, and they can still sell their home as is.
Okay.
It's just enabling that buyer to basically gives everybody a level playing field here, so that some aren't waiving home inspections and others are putting home inspections. So of course somebody's going to accept an offer based on, oh, someone's not having a home inspection.
Right, apples to apples if everything's the same, and you know, just like a lot of time you see that with cash offers versus financed offers. So I agree, not a lot's changing. The form we showed you is something that needs to be filled out, and I mean, that's kind of why we're paid, you know, the big bucks, if you will, but really not the big bucks. But you know, nonetheless, we're licensed, we have our continuing education. This is what we do to help sellers and buyers understand the new laws, old laws. I mean, it's just another disclosure, another form that needs to be filled out. It is a state law. We have the federal law, which we talk a lot about, lead paint law. That's a federal law that has to be filled. Again, the paperwork has to be done right, and you have to follow the law as a seller and as a buyer now as well. So again, I think you can still sell your home as is, like you said. If a home inspection is for informational purposes only, I mean, sometimes it turns up, it could be a small thing that needs to be fixed that could be a big deal. Like it could be like a fire hazard or something that was a seller wasn't aware of, and even though you're selling it as is, you still may change your mind and be, hey, I might spend a couple $100 and fix that because my house could burn down. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, it is one of those things. We talked a little bit about it, and like, again, we don't want the government like in everything, but it's also good and bad.
Good
you know what I mean? It's protection wise, it just makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? So
it's definitely a good consumer protection for that buyer.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's something that we 90% of the time you're going to see home inspections done anyway. So it's really not a big change in terms of what I see, and sellers don't have to be forced to drop their price after a home inspection. That is always a negotiation thing anyway. Like if you have a home inspection as a buyer and they find things that nobody knew about, they can come back and either ask for money off or ask for something to be fixed, or they can say, you know what, never mind, there's too much here for me to do, give me my deposit back, and then that's when you have to relist your home as a seller. So again, I still think it's something that happens on a regular basis. It's just kind of a new form.
It is. It's just a new form, and you know, I mean, we've both been doing this a long time. Up until the COVID few years, I mean, everybody did home inspections.
Right.
So I think it's just, you know, it went a little bit on the other side of that, and the state took a look at that and said, you know, we need to make it a level playing field for everybody.
COVID was just such a weird time, I feel like, for everybody, and it did change a lot of industries, including ours, and now we're starting to see it kind of get a little bit more balanced out in areas. So I feel like a lot of people are doing home inspections again, and I know you do this too, and I do too. We always recommend you have a home inspection, unless
100%.
you're, again, a contractor or a seasoned investor. Like, those are the only two things I can think of in my head where I was just like, you know, it's really up to you whether you want to have a home inspection or not. You know, in those situations, usually, I would always tell my buyer, I always recommend you have one. You know what I mean? So, I know you did too.
No, it's always good practice.
Absolutely. So, well, that's great. Another great episode. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next time, but we'll have some great stuff for you next time as well. I know, Christine, you had something else you wanted to bring up before the end of the episode?
So our office, you can drop off donations for Damien's Food Pantry starting October 28th and running through November 18th. Been doing this collection now for non-perishable and canned goods for about 10 years or so now, maybe a little longer. But it's, you know, the holidays are coming up and they can always use the extra donations, and they're so appreciative of any donations that we bring over. So if you'd like to help us out, we'll have a box and you can pop in and just drop off your canned or non-perishables.
Yeah, it's such a good food drive. I'm glad you took the reins on that for so many years. It's awesome, especially right now too. We talked about the government shutdown with, you know, a lot of SNAP benefits and stuff like that aren't being provided right now until the government starts back up. So it really, you know, people could be hurting a lot more this Thanksgiving than if they're not back in operation soon than, you know, than years prior. So it's really a great food drive that you put together here. So
yeah, we you know, we like to do it. We like to help out, and especially like you said this year, I'm sure that the food pantry is probably, you know, feeling it a little bit more right now. So any help is always appreciated.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and tune in to our next episode. Much appreciated.